Now, the last one, oh, we're not done, Molly, don't worry. I got 3 more minutes, I can easily cover this. The last one is now talking about rational, all right? If you guys remember, rational numbers are numbers we can express as a fraction. So an example of a rational number would be like 3/5. An example of an irrational number would be like the square root of 5, all right? So if we're looking for zeros, we obviously are comfortable when we had our zeros that are like numbers, our rational numbers, right? So this is what we call the rational zero test. And what the rational zero test is tells us what numbers could be zeros. Remember when I told you over here, the reason why did we not use synthetic division? Because we didn't know the zeros, right? We didn't know the zeros, so we had to factor them. So what the rational zero test tells us is, well, hey, if you don't know the zeros, you can pick one of these numbers and use synthetic division. And if synthetic division works with no remainder, then that is your zero. So what this does is this tells us what numbers could be the zeros, okay, which is helpful. So what we're going to do is basically, you guys label P and Q. P is your constant, and Q is your coefficient. And then all we're going to do is take plus or minus the factors of P over Q. So now we need to look at this and say, all right, what are the factors of 6, which is my P? The factors of 6 are 6, 3, 2, and 1. Agreed? Those are all the numbers that divide into 6 evenly. Then we go with the factors of Q. Okay? The factors of Q are just going to be 2 and 1. So now, now what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite these out. So we're going to say plus or minus 6 over 2, comma, plus or minus 6 over 1, comma, plus or minus 3 over 2, comma, plus or minus 3 over 1, comma, plus or minus 2 over 2, comma, plus or minus 2 over 1. Basically what I'm doing is I'm taking my numerator and putting it over each of these numbers.
What number is that? That's not a number. It's a shape.
Okay? Comma, plus or minus 1 over 2, comma, plus or minus 1 over 1. So all I'm simply doing is taking every single numerator, every single factor, and putting it over every single factor of Q. Okay? Now, a lot of these we can simplify, though. 6 divided by 2 equals 3. 6 divided by 1 gives you 6, comma, plus or minus 3/2. Now, plus or minus 3, we already have 3, so therefore I'm not going to write it out. Over here, plus or minus 2 divided by 2 is going to give you 1. Jake, please. Now, we have plus or minus 2 over 1, which is 1. Plus or minus 2 over 1, which is going to be 2, comma, plus or minus 1/2. And then over here is plus or minus 1 over 1, which just equals 1. So all you're simply doing when you guys have a problem like this on your test, which I guarantee you're going to have,